All right. So glad to be with you, Christoph,
Yeah,
today.
me too. Just look if I can record Christina. Can you give me permission? Then I can record to my little controlling Chris control. Oh, I want to record too. Ah,
Yeah, of course. Of
coming back.
course. Yeah, so we looks like we're both recording from both
Yeah,
of our sides.
yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Great. So, hi, Christina.
So hi,
Hi.
Christoph. I'm um I'm excited to sit with you today and answer a few questions and
Yeah,
talk about experiences. Where do you want to start?
me too. So happy. So thanks, first of all. And yeah, where do I want to start? Well, if you can share, first of all, a little bit of how we met and what your first experience was like. Whatever you want to share.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So
yeah,
crazy story. I was at a retreat in Corfu, Greece back in October, and the retreat was full and closed, and we were at the beautiful Sunrock retreat center in Corfu, and in comes walking Christoph through the kitchen eating area, had a established relationship, I understand, with the owner of
yeah,
Corfu. You've been there before, you had a retreat there before, and you were just coming to do a little bit of work on the side. And it just so happens that there was a triathlon going on. Somebody found a credit card you had dropped. The universe, literally universe brought us together, and we just met by happenstance in Greece. So
yeah,
that was so cool. So we were doing multiple modalities in the retreat: breath work, sound healing, energy healing, massage, yoga. And Christoph you informed us that you do hypnotherapy. And so we kind of decided to do a little bit of energy exchange. So I was so glad. At first, I didn't want to do it. I wasn't interested in hypnotherapy. I didn't feel like I had a reason to really do it. But two of my friends had done a session with Christoph during the retreat, and they were just having really great experiences, and I just wanted to try it just to see. And so I just found it so fascinating how you brought in um, so many compassionate modalities into the way that you do hypnotherapy. And so our session was a little over 2 hours, maybe. But the session really started with a compassionate conversation between the two of us. And
yeah,
so clearly, I, as a longtime nurse and someone who takes care of a lot of different kinds of people in a trauma-informed capacity and a coaching capacity, in an energy perspective way. Christoph, you really brought compassion and understanding to the conversation and really just asked meaningful questions that helped peel back layers of something that we could work with, which I found was really quite fascinating because I wouldn't have been able to pull that up myself without the question asking the way that you did it. So it was very safe, um, very open, um, and just the way you explained how the session was going to go. I was going to have complete control. We were going to communicate through yes or no answers, which I thought was really interesting and cool. Um, yeah, so we had a really good conversation. And then during the session, this the way with going into theta trance or trance state, it's you definitely need to feel a sense of safety in order to allow yourself to go into a relaxed state. And so kudos to you for offering that safe space because it was
Yeah.
very easy to go into that state. I had full control, but I just felt safe to go into a relaxed place with you, with the guidance. And then we did a little bit of time travel, which was wild, and just going back to childhood memory and really changing the perspective of how I felt during a certain time uh, changed so much. I really felt like it uh, changed my timeline. It changed the future a little bit, and the way you go into it, resolve it, and the way you go out of it, it takes a little while to figure out, okay, what's different? How do I feel now? Um, and I felt like my self-limiting belief as an adult uh had I had overcome that belief after integrating the session,
Yeah.
after noticing like how I was going back into my life after the retreat. So I just found that to be so fascinating.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, me too. So nice.
Yeah, I mean, self-limiting beliefs is a common problem. And
Yeah.
so, as a new business owner, I was just starting my own business and starting my own managing of my own time, being an entrepreneur, not knowing what that is, and imposter syndrome, and what am I
Yeah.
doing, and what is my vision? It just became so much more clear, really.
Oh, that's nice. So, how many years did you work as a nurse before?
I've been a nurse for 23 years.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow. And I remember you got like, how to say, like a kind of a recognition or certificate for your, how to say, for your, I don't know if it's the right articulation or for your serving or your attendance as a nurse for your work.
Yeah, that's right. Right before I met you, I had just gotten recognized as a new entrepreneur in the nursing field. And
Okay,
so
okay.
that was really a big deal and a lot of pressure too. Like, okay, here I am getting recognized and I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing.
Mm, yeah,
So it was perfect timing.
yeah, yeah.
Meeting you and
Yeah.
doing that work.
What was universe?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so good. Okay, cool. Then time went on.
Yeah.
We,
Yeah. So time went on. We got really excited. Christoph,
yeah,
and I spoke about learning the process, and you were really interested in bringing it and spreading your business and
yeah,
this particular modality, this way of hypnotherapy. And so I got really excited about it. I couldn't wait to learn. So when you offered that and when that opportunity came again with the universe, just opening up all of our schedules. There was a good friend
yeah,
of mine and colleague, and the three of us just happened to have open schedules for an entire month, which was wild. And so we took advantage of it, and we sat together and we learned together, which was
yeah,
such a gift.
yeah. So I came to the States for the first time. For me, it was really, how to say, I was, what's the right word? Enthusiastic. I was like, wow, it's like a big adventure, flying to the States first
Yeah.
time
And you
and
landed in New
experience.
York City, so that's
Yeah,
amazing.
I
Yeah,
remember,
that's
I
a big
remember the
adventure.
first day on Friday. I woke up in the morning and walked out the street, and I thought, "Oh my God, everything is so big." There was this huge school trucks and the buildings. I was, "Oh my God, everything is just so big compared to Europe." I
Yeah,
remember that.
boy, that's about just landing right in the middle of the adventure.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then you came a little further south, just outside Washington, D.C., and that's where we learned together, right?
yeah, yeah. So, what was your experience, would you say, mm, with the modality? What would you say when you did your first sessions in the training with Kristen and you experienced the first sessions with her? What was your experience and what? Yeah, how?
Yeah. Well, I had finished taking a nurse coaching course, and I felt like having that course and that experience really helped me understand the thoroughness
Mhm,
of what you were teaching and how you were teaching each individual piece, so that it made the whole puzzle together. So the way we learned it was in sections in different timelines, and then at the end, and putting it all together just made such a really thorough um, experience to
mhm,
walk someone through.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what would you say? Did you have any concerns up front?
I think my biggest concern was once you walk someone through deepening,
Mhm,
going into a trance state, how do you know what to do with them once they're in that state? So I think that was my biggest concern, um, going into learning the
yeah,
process.
yeah,
Because everybody is coming with a different story and different
mhm,
goals. And so we talked a lot about different reasons why people come in and ask for hypnotherapy. And so that was
yeah,
really helpful, going through different examples of what people ask, and then also hearing your experiences, talking about question asking and things like that really, really helped.
mhm. So, how do you experience it now going into the deepening of the trance? How is your experience now when you do it now with the clients?
I have alternated between the two methods of deepening,
Hmm.
and I find that that state. I also wondered how important that
Hmm.
stage was, because we spend a lot of time learning about the deepening process, and in some respects, I felt like it could be shorter.
Hmm.
Or I just kind of like wondered about how important that is. But I found in my practicing now, that deepening is so important, because what it does is it goes beyond the block of the person saying, that's not true or right. Um, and so what do we call that? The um the block when someone's like, I don't believe that.
Yeah, like the critical
Critical faculty.
critical faculty.
The
Yeah.
critical faculty. So it's really important, um, paramount
Mm, yeah.
to go through a general relaxation so somebody feels safe. And then that deepening process is 100% required so that you can bypass the critical faculty, the person's own block to whatever it is that you're trying to do, like their own block, really. And so going into that deepening, so important. Um, And so, and then communicating with them, asking them once you feel like you've completed and they're in that state, communicating and making sure that they've arrived.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
helpful. So
yeah.
helpful.
How did you say? You said like re. I don't remember the term. Reassurance. You call it reassurance to get reassurance during the process.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and that's another thing too, that you taught us was like whatever your first thought is, or whatever it is that you're doing in your mind now is good. It's
Yeah,
good. You're
yeah.
doing great. That reassurance, I've gotten feedback where it's just so helpful because even though you're in a relaxed state and you're behind the critical faculty, there are some thoughts that come to mind
Mm,
when you're in that state that are like surprising.
mm, mm,
I when we were talking, I wanted to go back to this issue at
mm,
this age,
mm,
but now that I'm in it, I'm going to this issue for some reason. And so there's a process in
mm.
your own subconscious mind.
Yeah,
And so having that reassurance, no, that this is if this is your first thought, that's the perfect thought. Let's go there.
yeah,
So important. And it goes back to that non-judgmental, unconditional love
yeah,
space that without forcing, with just allowing what it is that your body needs to do. So beautiful, so important, so healing.
yeah, yeah. Hmm. It just sounds great when you talk about it. Yeah. Mm, so how would you describe the method, the modality when you describe it? How would you describe it?
Oh, it's tough
Mhm.
because it encompasses so many things. And so I've been telling people that it's just not your average hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
It's so much more. I tell people that when I do it,
Mhm.
it's it's bringing everything that I've learned,
Mhm.
all of the modalities that I provide to people individually into one session because it is trauma informed. There is a scientific neuroscience element to it. There's quantum theory. So just also understanding that when you're in this space and energy is everywhere and always, tremendous healing is possible. And so bringing that to it is so important. There's a quantum um, theory understanding to it. And there's also some talk therapy that goes along with it because there's therapeutic conversation that you're having before this happens, and you're not going back into details of any trauma.
Mhm.
You're not going to re-traumatize somebody. But there is an element of therapeutic conversation
Mhm.
that goes into it. And then there's an energetic component significantly that I've brought to my practice specifically because you want that energy to be of the highest um, possibilities for
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
person.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
There,
yeah.
so there's a huge level of practitioner preparation that goes into it. The practitioner needs to be in a space where they're healthy um, and able to be fully present with that person. And the way that you do that is by taking care of yourself as a practitioner. And I've brought this intention of unconditional love into the space for the person's highest good. And it's important to ask the individual too if they have a spiritual practice. what is it that they call their higher power. And so, having the same language as the client is
Yeah.
very important to meet them where they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
And so everybody is kind of on the same page together in an energetically loving space.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
there's
love
a lot that goes into it. There's a lot. And then after as well, there's a very important debrief conversation that needs to occur to allow the person um, to integrate and interpret the experience and um, and allow them to uh, get excited for the future
Yeah.
version of themselves. And so that portion of the learning is very important as well. And then follow up is important. I've been doing series, so I'd like to see you again
Mm-hmm.
because I want to see how has the last week or 2 weeks been
Yeah.
different. And then do it again, and every session is going to be different. You're never going to go to the same place, the same
Yeah.
person. So
Yeah.
do it again, and you're reiterating the patterns of change that they want to incur. And then the final session, at least in my view, or a third session
Mhm. Yeah.
in a series solidifies all of the experiences and validates that they are the new person that
Yeah.
they wanted. So you're validating what they're experiencing, what they're thinking. You're reiterating those patterns that they want to see. Um, and then after that, if you can continue seeing people, it's icing. It's just beautiful to watch people evolve.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh wow, that's I loved it. Just very quick from my side because some last year also when I did the Hypno Summer tour here in Austria, people, oh, but that's so much more than just and I loved your explanation because it sums up the same. I mean, way more on point, way more in detail how you described it now, but very brief people before told just the same like you are now. Yeah, but that's so much more than just like hypnosis or just like a modality. It's so much more. And here in Austria, when one of the attendees, she said she did like a hypnosis training before, but that was completely different. You can't compare it because that's something else. Like when she here learned like Neuro Trance, it was like completely different. It's what,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
it really that's one of I mean um it's so interesting. After one of the sessions that we did when we were learning, I was talking to
mm,
a friend on the phone and they're like, "Well, what makes this guy so different? What makes this so different?" And and I love that question and I was so happy to answer because um the it's just so all inclusive.
yeah,
It
yeah,
really is. And even if you have no experience with any of the modalities in the past with coaching or with quantum theory or with neuroscience or with healing in general, um, working with you, Christoph, is a beautiful foundation of
thank
that.
you.
And I would highly recommend that even, for a new person that hasn't had any of that and just goes to your course, that they continue learning about those modalities to help develop the skills and the confidence as well. But I feel like your course is more of an advanced course in healing because it really is encompassing so
Mm,
many modalities. Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why now the system is like now I see it same like you because I had some people in the Hypno Summer tour which have been very interested in going to the advanced course, but I knew I can't do this because there are people who have experience and those people had no experience. I can't put them together. So
Yeah.
now I will do it like a starter seminar and then a practitioner and then what you guys learned the coach course. This is how I will, yeah.
Yeah,
build it
I
up.
think having those tiered levels would be so
Um,
helpful. And if somebody was starting at the first level and going through all of them, that's the best. That's really optimal training right there. Yeah.
yeah.
So good job. Good
So,
job.
Christina, I would love to ask, what are experiences you? Yeah, I think we have a little lag now.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay,
Yeah,
there's a lag.
it's okay.
I hear you.
Okay, yeah, me too.
There's definitely a lag.
Is it okay now again?
Can you see my mouth moving?
Yeah,
Hearing
yeah,
the
yeah.
word?
I think now it's good again, or no?
Yeah, testing, testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Testing.
Yes, it's
There is a
still
lag.
lagging.
Do you have
Yeah,
a hotspot?
yeah. I can. Yeah, I think now it's working again, right? Yeah. Okay, now it's good
Hard to
again.
tell. Hard to tell. Can you hear me?
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
great.
So, I would love to ask what are experiences you have with your clients now, and what transformations did they go through, and can you tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, I have, oh gosh. Well, with one person, um, they felt like they were just always in fight or flight. Their
Hmm.
nervous system was just always on. There was a lot of self-limiting beliefs, but at the same time, they felt like they needed to just constantly achieve, 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 achieve. And so I implemented a whiteboard using a whiteboard and just drawing, okay, this is how you feel now. This is how you want to feel. This is what's going on in your brain. This is how your nervous system works. This is how you want to feel. That sounds good. And so after the first session, um, it was just a week that went by. They felt like they were already able to turn off the fight or flight.
Hmm.
They could tell when it was activating. They were implementing the tools. They were feeling lighter and better. For that person, the second session was so powerful. She had been wanting to get pregnant, and that was just a block. Like it was just a block. It was just like, I really want this. I can't. It's making me very sad. And so the second session was very powerful. She was able to connect with her highest self and open things up, and um just felt I actually needed to feed her after the session. She stayed for like 20 minutes and I gave her food and we were talking because she was just so um, the experience was so transformational, and she was just like, that was a lot
Yeah,
of energy shifting. And so I kept her for a little bit to just make sure she was safe and fed, and I had her blood sugar back up. And
yeah.
long story short, she is now pregnant,
Wow,
and
oh my
she is
God, this is so
now much happier. And she's so grateful, and she's telling people about her experience left and right. So,
do you get new clients from that?
I haven't yet. I haven't yet.
Okay,
There is a lot of interest.
yeah, I
There's
think
a
so.
lot of interest. Yeah. So incredible. Another client, she was just absolutely positive that her belief of constantly being abandoned. She just
Mm.
feels like her whole life people have been abandoning her left and right, and she just can't shake this feeling. She felt like it was a past, that the source was from a past life. And
Yeah.
so her first session, we went back as far as we could in this lifetime, and some incredible insights came out of going through her life, this life. The second session I saw her, she was just really adamant. It's really past life. It's really past life. And it was like, I've never gone to past lives, but we can
Mm.
try. And so we did.
Yeah.
We went back, and I had her look at this person, and she looked at them in the eyes and just cared for them, gave them what they needed at the time of presence and support and love, and just poured into that being at that time. And she just felt, when she came out, she was like, I um just feel, she's like, I am in love with
Mm.
that child. She actually went back to I don't want to share details.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but she's like, I'm in love with that child, and I can't get the image out of my mind. And that was the source. And I'm so glad that we went back so that I could comfort them during that time. And she just messages and messages about how grateful she is about just having that experience and feeling, giving that person the support that they didn't get at the time. So meaningful. So I'm about to have a third session with her. We had 3 weeks in between,
Mhm.
um, to find out more and to go deeper again. Um, I had a client who felt like she just didn't want to be a mom, didn't
Mm.
have compassion for her kids, and but wanted it. She really wanted to have patience and compassion and love, and we were able to. There was significant trauma,
Mm.
um, and a lifetime of experiences that led to her current state. And she just didn't want to be like that. So that's what brought her to me. So we had one session so far. She was just so excited she was able to see herself as a new person. So we went back to several places in the past to provide care, to provide insight, to provide a lesson in each. And
Mhm.
then going forward, she was just so excited. She had new insight of new ideas on how to manage difficult situations, that she knows that she'll have in the future. And she was just so appreciative, and excited really to like begin again. I think that's the biggest takeaway is like people leave these sessions just feeling so hopeful and excited to begin again. And that's what we're all doing here on earth, is just constantly beginning again. We all want to be the best version of ourselves. When we show up less than that, we're living with dis-ease, discomfort, uncomfort. And it's not comfortable, even if somebody just is like that, they they don't want to be less than they can be. So everybody really is looking to be better. Everyone's just in a different place in their journey. And so it's important to remember to meet people where they are. You can't want it more than they do. They need to want the change, and they need to specifically say what change they want to see, and that's the change that they'll get. You're not doing anything, you're not changing anything, you're not helping them become the person that you want them to be. You're assisting them with what they want, and that's just such a beautiful gift to give.
Wow.
Hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. It's just awesome. Hmm. Christina, what would you tell someone who is having some doubts or who is maybe thinking about, okay, should I attend this or not? Or they're thinking about it, well, is this the right thing for me or not? What kind of advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think it's natural to think that
Mm,
like should I be doing you're constantly like should I do that or not do that? I think really just listening to your heart. If it's easy, if it's the right time, if it's like you just feel a pull, like you just can't get it out of your mind, um, then it's right. If it's hard, if just one blockade comes and another block, it's maybe it's not the right time for you, and to come back to it another time. But really just listen to your body and pay attention to what's going on around you. And if you're feeling the pull, it's right. Mhm.
so like listen to the universe, so to
Listen.
say.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to like listen to the universe because it's like I'm listening. I don't hear anything.
No, no one talks
But
to me.
if your body is feeling it and you're like excited when you start thinking about it and like suddenly your calendar clears or suddenly you have more money in your account than you had, like that's the signs that the universe is giving you. Yes, this is right. Go to it. It's time. Hmm.
Wow, it's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
I feel very delighted to have this conversation with you.
Hmm.
It's really when you talk about the experiences your clients are having, it's just like how is the word in German? It's demütig. It's like I just have to translate it because it's really just amazing. I'm
Yeah, I
just
feel like life changing is a cliche word. I don't feel like it's fair to use that. The word is, what is the word when you translate it?
humble. I'm feeling very
Yes,
humble to hear
that's
it.
the word.
Um,
That is the word. It's very humbling.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
very humbling. And it brings next level gratitude
mm,
for the presence that you bring to the world.
yeah.
Um, yeah, humble.
Mm. Christina, is there anything more in your mind, anything, any impulse you want to tell the people what would be important for them to hear from your side?
I feel like I said a lot already. I am just so grateful to add this as a modality to my tool belt. I feel like I am an energy worker. I am a light worker. I'm here on earth to give compassion to people, to spread love. I think all of us are here um, to be loving presence in the world. Having this modality just levels you up. It's really there are no words when you are working with people in this space, how incredible it is to walk with people in their growth journey. And I've had multiple people cards, emails, text messages. Thank you for walking with me in my journey. Thank you for being a light in my path. Thank you for, and it just pours in, and again, it's just so humbling and just um so wonderful. I think it's really important as a practitioner to stay grounded and to take good care of yourself, connect with the earth, connect with things that you enjoy, that you love, to be careful not to do too much because it can be tiring, can be exhausting. Um, but so just, plan your schedule, make sure you have plenty of time for the person, for that one person when they need you, when you take care of them, and then ground and rest and give gratitude for the opportunity and stay in that humble state. It's really important to not get in your head because you're not you're not fixing anyone. You're not here to fix or change people. You're here to provide the opportunity for them to heal. And so having this gift provides a tremendous opportunity for those people to heal. Yeah, important.
Wow,
I think that would be my last message. Yes.
very deep. Thank you so much,
Mhm.
Christina, for your amazing, heartfelt words. Very wise, very, very deep.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah,
so much, Christoph. I
thank you so
appreciate it
much.
so much. I look forward to staying in touch and I would love
Absolutely.
to help however I can.
Yeah,
If you need
after.
help instructing or teaching or um having any if anybody has any questions or anything and I'd love to, just be there for each other, continued support for this work. It's important.
I love that, Christina. Yeah, we'll what will take some time, I think, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks a lot. I think the future is very bright in these fields and in our spaces where we what's the word where we where we have an effect on the work where we operate, where we have an impact. Maybe the best translation is where we
Yeah.
have an impact, yeah,
Yeah.
in these fields. And I think even in the future, it's will be more important because from my perspective, the people are getting more. They awake more and more people awake,
Yes.
and they are like hitting a wall, and so much things don't help them, and they are looking for solutions even more, and we can do great.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. The impact is tremendous for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
indeed. Well, best of luck to all of your future students and to their clients and to the amazing ripple effect in the world of this kind of work.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Christoph. Good to see you.
Yeah.
We'll keep in touch.
Yeah, so let's quit the official part now.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop the
Yeah.
recording.